So, you are in your 40s now? Welcome to the club, I guess. I just turned 45 and I'm sparing you the whole 40s at the new 30s stuff. There is no denying your 40s are a period in your life and your skin where you see a lot of changes. This video will focus on the skin changes. If you're interested in more behind the scenes stuff, consider a channel membership. No matter if you have been diligently taking care of your skin for a while already or never even thought about having a routine, this video will provide you with the tips and tricks you need to build your best skincare routine possible. We will discuss the changes that occur, skincare and lifestyle adjustments that will help address them, and the limitations of products when it comes to things like saggy skin or loss of facial fat. But before everything else, celebrate every year you get to spend on this planet, as the alternative to aging is dying. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Dr. Anne, a physician passionate about skincare and well-aging. When you reach your 40s, it is essential not to only look at the changes that occur in your skin, but also the changes in the subcutaneous layer, meaning the layer underneath your skin. As we age, we lose bone through resorption, and the fat pads that give volume and structure to a feature start following the pull of gravity and travel south. Muscle mass is reduced everywhere in the body, including our face, and that combined leads to general loss of volume and loss of structure, meaning that skin isn't pulled as tight as it used to be. The sagging you will most likely notice isn't only explained by skin changes. We do also lose collagen and elastin, mainly because production declines, so not only the underlying framework doesn't pull the skin up as tightly, the skin itself isn't as tight and elastic as it used to be, which means even more sagging and wrinkles. Cell turnover slows down, and the shedding of skin cells doesn't happen as easily as it used to, meaning the skin will look dull due to the uneven light reflection, and redness becomes more of a concern both through hormonal changes with flushing and through broken capillaries. This redness can also be due to an increased sensitivity, as the skin's barrier function is reduced, so your skin gets more reactive, and the skin is more prone to dehydration as it loses its ability to hold on to water because the humectant production declines. At the same time, the daily wear and tear through movement, UV exposure, and all the other things that come with living sum up. So hyperpigmentation and expression lines will appear. Yes, someone that started wearing sunscreen or started getting Botox early on will be less affected than a smoking sun worshipper that never looked after their skin, but no matter what you did or didn't do, you will start to see changes once you reach your 40s. What you should do now depends on what you are already doing. I will touch on both extremes of never took care of my skin and already do a 10-step routine in a bit. But now, more than ever, the base of your routine should be gentle and non-stripping when it comes to your cleansing, and rich and hydrating when it comes to your moisturizer. Rich is again different for everyone. Someone like me that used to rely on the lightest gels only at night might step it up to a light lotion in the mornings and proper cream at night, while someone that already used the cream texture might introduce additional face oils. But the key message is whatever used to work for you in your 30s will most likely be too light for you in your 40s. Sunscreen is as important as it always was, not only to prevent new sun damage, but also to allow the skin to heal some of the existing one. Wear it every day, look for broad spectrum run with adequate UVA protection, and reapply if you are out in the sun. Antioxidants are, just like humectants, declining in their levels in the skin, so introducing them into your routine is a great idea as well. I prefer ascorbic acid as it works both as antioxidant and in stimulating collagen production, but if your skin doesn't tolerate that, there are a ton of others you can pick from. To increase cell turnover, exfoliation is important. I have a video dedicated to the different skin acids and the skin types each of them is best for here. And if your skin can tolerate it, a retinoid will address several of the skin changes we discussed, as it increases cell turnover, stimulates collagen production, and helps target hyperpigmentation. When it comes to retinoids, more is not more. It is much more important to find one that you can use consistently for years than to use the strongest version available. So if you're new to retinoids, work your way up from a low concentration and stop at the point your skin is still happy. The goal is not prescription strength, unless you are treating a medical condition. Now, peptides. You will often hear that everyone in their 40s should use peptides, and while I do use them myself, I don't fully agree with that statement. Let me explain. Peptides are a very broad category, and they do a myriad of different things. Some work to stimulate collagen and elastin production, but others are cleansing, hydrating, or soothing. So if I would just tell you to use a peptide, that would be way too broad. On top of that, some of them are quite expensive and the research isn't as good as it is for sunscreen or retinoids, so if you want to use them, go for it, but make sure you pick some that will target signs of aging, like the ones from the matrixyl complex or the ones that I'm using, copper peptides. The upside to peptides is that they are very well tolerated and easy to use, especially compared to retinoids with their potential for irritation. It is never too late to start a skincare routine, not in your 30s, not in your 40s, not even in your 80s. But while you might be tempted to make up for lost time by throwing everything in the kitchen sink at your face at once, and the fact that people in their 40s have the money to spend and are main target by marketing telling them to buy everything, you should start slowly. Start with a cleanser, a sunscreen, and one serum max that addresses your main concern and see how your skin reacts and if you're able to keep that up. There's no point in starting with a complicated 10-step routine that sets your face on fire and isn't touched after 2 weeks because it just doesn't fit in your life. If that works, introduce the next active step into your routine after, let's say, 8 weeks, and slowly build from there. When you have already been taking good care of your face, you might look at my suggestions and think, but I'm doing that already. And true, the steps mentioned here are not that different from the ones I recommend for your 30s. Gentle cleansing, an antioxidant serum, regular exfoliation, a retinoid sunscreen, and eventually peptides. What I suggest you do, and what I did as my routine has been pretty good for a decade now, is see where you can cut out extra fluff like serums that are solely hydrating, for example, and use this freed up space to dial up your actives. My routine has become much simpler with time, with less products used, but the ones that are used, each serving a purpose. Less products also means less chance for irritation. And then look into procedures, either at home or in office. It is important to understand that the different changes that come with age concern more than the skin, and that skincare will only ever be able to address a small part of it. Most products work through prevention of further damage or help the skin repair, and only a small part will actually influence collagen production and other things that can in parts reverse skin changes. What happens beneath the skin, the bone resorption, the fat loss, the muscular atrophy, is not something a serum can affect. This is where, depending on your preferences and means, devices for at-home use and in-office procedures come into play. I have talked about a ton of things like radiofrequency, microcurrent, and LED therapy on my channel already, and what all of them have in common is that they aim to work on structural changes like muscle loss or target collagen production, so in theory would complement skincare. I say in theory because A, the data on their effectiveness is sparse, and B, they take time and commitment to use, and if you don't invest that time, they don't even stand a chance of having an effect. Not to forget, C, devices sold for at-home use put safety first, so they aren't as potent as the ones used in office in the hands of a professional. Which is a good thing, we don't want anyone to accidentally damage their face, but seeing that studies are rarely done with at-home devices, but with the ones for professionals, it is safe to assume that the results you'll get with at-home devices will be way more subtle than the ones you would get in office. Or with something invasive. No device is able to give you the lifting effect you'll get from a facelift or the added plumpness from having fillers. That doesn't mean you need to go down that route. I never had any Botox fillers or other treatments done, but you need to understand that there are limitations in what you can achieve and determine what your goal is. If it is a jawline as snatched as it was in your 20s and cheekbones that look like they were carved by a skilled sculptor, skincare and at-home devices will not deliver. While general health will always influence how your skin looks, not exclusively, mind you can be sick as a dog and have great skin, or be the healthiest person on the planet and still struggle with a skin disease, the older you get, the bigger the influence of your lifestyle on your skin will become, simply because the skin loses the ability to repair everything you expose it to. Sun damage you acquired in your 20s? It will show up now. Lack of sleep due to a stressful life or hormonal changes? You will see that in your face for days. While in your 20s you could stay up all night, drink too much and still look radiant, this is no longer possible in your 40s. So, even more than before, get the basics right. Get enough sleep, protect your face from the sun, quit smoking if you haven't already, and eat a balanced diet. Oh, and work out. That might even have an effect on skin aging on its own, as we discussed in this video. Just like it is with skincare, it is never too late to start taking care of yourself. If there's anything you would like to add, please do so in the comments below. I will link to more videos you might find interesting on the screen, and links to my Instagram and blog in the description box. And if you want exclusive Q&As, behind the scenes content, or just get more involved, become a channel member. I would love to have you join the community. See you soon. Bye.